and welcome back to this channel. My name is Sarah. In today's video I wanted to make a pair of jeans and I wanted to show you this process, or at least make a sewing vlog out of this process, because I've actually been putting off this project for quite a long time. I've had the fabric since May and I find it intimidating, and so I thought perhaps if I turn the camera on it will motivate me to get to it, or do the exact opposite. But I thought it would be an interesting process, so I'd like to share that with you today. I am making this pair of jeans because I am going to be traveling to the United States in a few weeks to visit family and friends. So for some background information, if you're new here, I am originally from the East Coast of the United States, Connecticut, and I came to France in 2009 and I've been here ever since. I am a double citizen. I live in France, I work in France, and sometimes I'd like to go back to see my family and friends because they're over there. So end of October I will be traveling first to the East Coast to see some childhood friends, and then to Southern California where my parents have moved since 2018 to go visit them. And yeah, Southern California is still something very new to me. I grew up in New England, and what's really interesting about this trip as well is that it's my husband's first time going with me in the fall, and so it's his first time seeing a New England fall season, so that's exciting. It's so beautiful. So on this trip I will be mostly hanging out with family and friends around the house, maybe going for walks, going apple picking, I hope. And I don't have a lot of casual wear. I do have one pair of jeans, and it's something that I use quite a lot on the weekends when we're doing things just around the house or going somewhere. And most of my wardrobe is more dress-up clothes because I like to dress up. But yeah, I have very little to wear on the weekends. And especially when I'm going to the United States, it's much more of a casual sort of visit. I don't have a wedding to go to, I'm not going to any big events, I'm not visiting a city, and so I need more casual clothes. And so I thought that a second pair of jeans would be very useful for this. I have one pair of jeans already that I made for a trip to Japan back in 2019, and that is a pair of ginger jeans by Closet Core Patterns that I made in a dark wash stretch jean. And they are definitely skinny jeans. They're very tight, but they're stretchy, and they're not the most comfortable to wear. I usually don't wear them just around the house. I much prefer stretchy, loose clothes around the house. And if you've followed me for a little while, perhaps on Instagram or on YouTube here, you may know that I much prefer wearing skirts and dresses to pants. I find them to be leg prisons most of the time, and I don't like them. But they are very useful for activities like going for a walk or hiking or apple picking, for example. And so yeah, I think that a second pair would be useful. So I would like to make the Helen's Closet Brooks jeans, and this I saw it came out earlier this year and I've been wanting to make it ever since I saw it. It is a more classic cut, not as tight as the ginger jeans that I made before, and they're made with non-stretch jean. And I have the fabric here. So this is a bluish, sort of light bluish gray speckled recycled denim that I got from Blackbird Fabrics. And I typically don't shop there just because shipping and customs are really expensive between Canada and France. But I got married earlier this year in May, and I had it shipped to my sister in Reno, and she brought it for me, and that was lovely. And so it's been sitting here waiting for me. It's already laundered, and I just need to press it one more time, and it is ready to go. It's the first time I've ever worked with a non-stretch jean before. I don't know if I'm going to like it, or it already seems like it's softened a little bit with the first wash. Maybe it'll be more comfortable because, yeah, the only thing I have is skinny jeans, and perhaps something a bit looser will be nice. What I like about the Brooks jeans is that they have a slightly tapered fit towards the ankles, and then it's high-waisted, and that's something that I really like to wear. And yeah, I think that a light wash jean will find its place in my wardrobe and be very useful to have. It's just something that's very classic, and I think I'm gonna like it. So I will be making a toile. I have already traced out the pattern here. So what I like to do is buy the PDF pattern and then trace it. I think Helen's Closet is only PDF patterns anyway, but I do like to trace it so that I have the original just in case I need to go back and make another size another day, if my body changes in 5 years, in 6 months, who knows, or if I just cut out the wrong size and I need to go back. So the modification that I need to do for my body is to grade between a size 0 at the waist, which is up here, this is the side seam for example, to a size 6 at the hips, and that was actually not as dramatic a difference than I thought it would be. I thought, wow, how many sizes is that? 2, 4, 6, yeah, 3 sizes up. I thought it was going to be much harder to make that curve gradual, but it was pretty easy, and already explained in the instructions how to do, so that was great. And then I thought I was going to have to add an inch or so to the rise here because so the rise is between the seat of the pants and the waist of the pattern. I'm a little bit longer in the torso there, and in past pants projects I've had to modify the pattern that way, but the rise is indicated in the instructions, which is very useful, and it corresponds to my body, and so I didn't change it this time. And I did compare it to the Ginger Jeans closet core pattern piece that I had cut out for my body that I had modified previously, and the rise corresponded as well. So I think it's going to be okay, but I do want to make a muslin first before cutting into my precious fabric. This is muslin fabric. It is unbleached cotton that I get at my local haberdashery, and I will be making the shorts version, just the pieces that are the silhouette pieces that are essential to understand whether or not it fits me correctly. So I've traced out the shorts piece of this pattern because it comes in two different versions, a pant version and the shorts version. And if that works out, then I'll be able to cut into my fashion fabric and get going. Otherwise, back to square one, and I will be back here making modifications, and I'll explain those too. So hopefully that will go well, and I am ready to get started. So I have finished making the toile or muslin version of this and the shorts version of these pants, and I think it turned out pretty well. I did modify so from the waist to the hip here from a size 0 to a size 6, and I think that works. It's not too tight, not too loose. It's pretty comfortable. I can do this pretty comfortably. And I think the only thing that's surprising to me is that it comes up pretty high. I knew it came up, it was high-waisted, but it comes right up to my natural waistline. So when I bend, it's like right there. And I think the only thing I'll need to modify is the yoke here, if I can show you. I think I need to make a slight sway back adjustment here because there's about 1 centimeter of excess fabric there gathering, and if I want the waistline to lay straight, then yeah, I'll have to remove this little bit of excess here. But otherwise, I think it turned out pretty well. I didn't attach the fly piece here, so that's why the zipper is exposed. It's not supposed to be like that. But I think it went okay. I think the only thing that I would change if I were to make the shorts version of this pattern is the inseam. So for some reason, the pieces didn't line up at all at the hem here, on the inseam here. I know there's supposed to be a little bit of ease, and you're supposed to ease these two pieces together, but the shapes didn't fit at all. It didn't correspond, so I just modify that if I made the shorts version. But I think, yeah, once I make this little modification to the yoke, I will be ready to cut out the jeans and start working on the final pants version. I have just finished sewing up the inseam and the side seams, and I wanted to try it on. I haven't attached the waistband yet, but I wanted to try it on to see how the fit's going, and I think there's something I need to change, but so far I think it's okay. I have a little bit of a hard time getting into it just because it's not stretchy, and I have a hard time getting the waist over my hips because my waist is smaller than my hips and this fabric isn't stretchy. But I think it's okay. The main thing I need to fix is this extra fabric. I have like whiskers coming down from my crotch, and yeah, that means that there's too much fabric in the front of the crotch. So if I pinch that out, the whiskers should go away. But yeah, I must not have caught this when I made the shorts, when I made the toile out of the shorts pattern, because the shorts ended about here and I don't think that I was able to catch that. So if you were to make these jeans, I recommend making a toile full length because I would have seen that if I had made it full length. It's not horrible, but yeah, it's definitely very noticeable, and it's in the front, so I want to fix it. And it's going to be a little bit annoying just because I already did the finishing top stitching along the inseam, but it's fine. I can fix it at the stage and move on. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to get this done before I go to the US, but I've decided it's more important that I enjoy the process rather than sewing frenetically into the late hours of the night. So no pressure. So it is now 4 weeks later, and I did in fact put this project to the side while I went to the United States to visit my friends and family, and I had a lovely visit. I was first on the East Coast visiting old childhood friends and my childhood, basically where I grew up, and it was a little bit rainy, but we still had a really great time. And then we headed to the West Coast to see my family who have now moved to Southern California, and that's always a pleasure to discover where they live now and then to see them again. And it's such a privilege to be able to spend so much time with them. I was able to spend over a week with my family, just being around for the daily things and seeing how they live and spending a lot of quality time together, and that is always such a pleasure. So I was really happy to be able to do that. But we got back about 2 weeks ago, and I admit I haven't really felt like sewing for these 2 weeks. I think it's kind of hard coming back from Southern California. It's 9 hours difference. And I think it's also been a little bit more of a motivational and emotional thing as well. Like, I just haven't felt like sewing or doing very much at all. I think that I suffer yearly from seasonal depression. It's light, it's not too bad, but it's definitely a period of the year that I don't look forward to. And this year it has been exceptionally rainy and dark and gloomy here in the north of France. I think that a lot of European countries are experiencing the same, so I can't complain too much. But just the other day, for example, the sun was out and we could see the sky for a few hours, and almost everybody outside in Paris was taking pictures of the sky. It was really funny. We haven't seen it for a while, so, or at least they haven't. I was in California, so I can't, I definitely can't complain. But I think it was that, plus the jet lag, plus missing my family, and I haven't been feeling very well lately, so I wanted to share that with you because I think that it's seasonal, it's normal, it will pass. I know it will pass, and in case you feel the same way sometimes, I didn't want you to feel alone, so there you go. So the next part of what I need to do with these pants is squeeze out some more excess fabric in the thighs. So basically, I have already modified it once, taking out 1/2 inch on the front and the back from the inseam for a total of 1 inch on each side, grading down to the regular line that I had already sewn around the knee. And I tried it on again, and it was still a bit baggy. And so while it was on my body, I basically pinned out the excess fabric here. And so you see, I need to probably take out another at least 1/2 inch total from either inseam, and then grade it down to the knee here where it's fine. But hopefully that will fix it. This has been a little bit discouraging just because I didn't think that this project would be so very complicated. But I just need to motivate myself to keep going, get this step done. Then I just have the finishing touches on the legs and then the waistband to do, and then it'll be done. And so far, I really love this color. I really love this fabric. I think that it can still be a success if I just get to it. So that is what I'm going to do today in the next few days. And I will show you. So the final step before these jeans were ready was to install the rivets and the jean button. And so I looked up a few videos to revise how to do that because I hadn't done that since 2019 with my ginger jeans, and it's not a method that I'm very familiar with. So I will link below the videos that I found that helped me, just in case you're embarking on the same sort of project. But basically, my biggest problem with this step was that I do not have an awl. And an awl is something that you use to poke holes. So basically, in order to do this, I used my embroidery scissors, which I do not suggest. I don't think that was great for my embroidery scissors and has probably blunted them a bit. And is not the safest method, so if you are able to procure an awl before this part of the project, I highly suggest it. But I was very happy with the jeans hardware pack that I bought from Blackford Fabrics. There were multiple more rivets than I needed. I think it came with 10 and I needed 5. 5. and it came with 2 jean buttons. I had at least a second chance if ever the first try went very, very badly. The button was actually much easier to install than I thought it would be. It went in pretty nicely and I didn't have to adjust anything, but the rivets were a challenge. So basically I learned from the Megan Nielsen video that I watched and that I'll link below that it's best to trim the rivet spike down to just a few millimeters outside of where it pokes out of your fabric so that it's not too long, otherwise it'll just poke through the top or the front facing part of the rivet. That took a few tries to get right, and then sometimes when I was hammering down the rivet, the spike part would just bend, and so I had at least 3 or 4 that I just didn't get right at all and I had to start all over again, and that were just completely unusable after. So I'm very happy that Blackprint Fabrics added a few more rivets than is absolutely necessary for jeans for test tries and mistakes. But in the end I installed 5, and I put 1 on each of the outside edges of the back pockets and then also the front pockets, and then 1 on the edge of the little coin pocket. And that was it. My jeans were ready and I was able to put them on and wear them around and try them out, and I'm very happy with the result. I love the fit of the legs in particular. I like that even though this is not a stretch jean pattern, that it's tapered and it's a very flattering shape I think on everyone. I like that the hem arrives just around the ankles and it's a little bit higher and not too slouchy, and I think it creates a really long line and it's really elegant. I don't think I mentioned this earlier in this video, but I also modified the pattern to taper from the size 6 at the hip back down to the size 0 from the knee down, so that the pant leg would taper a little bit more, because I do have smaller calves compared to my hips, and I knew that that line would be really nice on me, and so that's what I did. It is definitely very hard to get in and out of at the moment, but I do know that with washing and wearing that these jeans will soften and get a little bit easier around the tight parts. I think it's normal that it's a bit tight for now and stiff. The waistband does gape a little bit when I sit down or when I bend over, but it's nothing very noticeable and it's not uncomfortable. I'm used to tucking in my tops anyway underneath. I usually always wear a camisole underneath my tops, and so I don't think that breezes will get in and make me feel cold or anything. And I don't think I could have modified it anymore if I had made the waistband even smaller. I think it would have been uncomfortable just standing up normally. I am very proud of myself. I think that these turned out really well. I think that they're really comfy, because I was thinking with non-stretch jeans and my body that perhaps it wouldn't work out well at all, but it did, and I'm very pleased with the result. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that if you're planning on making jeans in the future, or if you're working on jeans now, that there were maybe tidbits of information that helped you, or just to have something to accompany you along the way. I will link below in the description the pattern and any tutorials that helped me, in case that helps you as well. It is now the beginning of December, and this project has officially taken up most of the fall season for me. I hope that you enjoyed seeing a little bit of a sneak peek into my life throughout the fall season, because this became more of a fall vlog as well. I hope that you are well and that you have lots of interesting projects at the moment, and I will see you again here soon. Bye-bye.